Hey there! Welcome. Just quickly introduce myself again. I'm Russ, your guy in Guam. Welcome to, this is my second video. It is May the 7th, 2021. It's my second video in a series where I am documenting my ongoing weight loss effort. Okay, so last week was April the 30th, was my very first video. My actual weight loss journey began on April the 20th, and I weighed in then at about 265.1. I shouldn't say about. I did at 265.1. Last week I came in at 256.5. So in that first 10 days, not quite a 9-pound weight loss. I wanted to talk before I'm going to save the big reveal to the end here, right? So just quickly, I wanted to talk a little bit about what it is that I'm doing, just, to give an idea. So what is it that I'm doing here in the first couple of weeks of my weight loss effort? Well, I am significantly overweight. This isn't my very first, as I mentioned in the first video, it's not my first go around trying to do something. As a matter of fact, from 2009 to 2011, about 10 years ago, I had a very similar, started around the same level, dropped a lot of weight, and then I ended up getting burned out because I was taking a sort of a very extreme approach. So this time through, what is it that I'm doing? Starting off, obviously you start off with a lot of motivation. It's relatively easy, but I'm taking a much more measured approach. I am making, again, this is 2021. We have a lot of different technologies available to us. I am making use of an app. I am doing things that I haven't done before, like logging my meals and thereby keeping control or tabs and an awareness of my calories. I'm also changing up, the restriction, yes, there is a caloric restriction. You cannot have weight loss without restricting your calories. You've got to, it's got to be a net loss. You've got to output more than you consume. Of course, there's a formula there, but I am taking it in a much more measured approach, and also being educated a bit about modifying my diet in such a way that I'm not feeling deprived. Right. So part of the thing is can I establish long-term habits that will be lasting changes, and how can I educate myself so that I can keep that motivation level up? And one of the things is, to do things like eat low caloric density food. So you're talking about yes, salads to a degree. Salads create a lot of bulk and for very low calories, but also knowing to eat things that are, that have more water to them. For instance, just as an example, right? The difference in the same amount of calories in a big bowl of juicy grapes versus a small handful of raisins, right? Now the raisins may pack a lot of sweetie punch, but they're not going to leave you feeling as full, right? So it's not just simply the calories, but also in finding foods that are simultaneously delicious but have that, again, low caloric density, and you're able to sort of feel full. And I do prefer to sort of eat, a couple of bigger meals and feel satiated and full for a period of time, and then maybe sprinkle in a couple of light snacks to sort of bridge the time in there if necessary, rather than, look, if you're undergoing a weight loss, if you're thinking about doing a weight loss, do whatever works for you. I'm just saying, if you're the kind of person who can sort of nibble throughout the day and spread your calories, and that works for you, hey, more power to you. Hats off. Again, as I say, I prefer a couple of sort of larger meals where I feel like I get full, and then, but what I'm saying is not keeping this whole thing. It's not my whole world. It's not all that's in my head right now. Is I'm feeling deprived. I'm hungry. I've got a headache going on. I'm hangry. That's not it. And so it's getting control of that. And again, if you do the research, 70 to 90% is what you're going to find from the experts as far as, a weight loss effort is going to be 70 to 90% diet. You can kill yourself in the gym. There's just no way you're going to offset a really bad diet. And so, yeah, that's sort of it in a nutshell. I'm doing the diet. I'm been getting 30 minutes a day at minimum of movement, and that, my exercise is simply walking. And I'll be honest, 30 minutes is my goal, but it's really been more like 45, and actually in the recent days, I've been getting in closer to an hour. In my morning walk, and sometimes my wife and I will take an evening walk, like an after dinner sort of walk, sort of a smaller thing. But, getting it, trying to get close to a good number of steps per day, and overall I'm seeing results again. So April the 20th, we were at 265.1. April 30th, video number 1, I was at 256.5, and this week, and again, it is May the 7th, 2021, drum roll, weighed in this morning at 252.3, so about a 4-pound weight loss, a little bit more than a 4-pound weight loss. I mean, I don't get too much, it's with some ups and downs, right? One day it seemed to drop significantly, and the next day I was sort of back up. And I don't exactly know why. I didn't have a bad day eating. I might have had maybe a saltier food intake and retained water. I don't know. Maybe that's just my body's process, but you gotta keep in mind, especially if it's a significant weight loss, if it's not just a 10 to 20 pound sort of, I'm trying to get back in shape. If you're somebody like me, really battling weight and have a long way to go, the sort of, I guess, good news is that, if you start with a good level of motivation and start doing things the right way, generally speaking, you're going to see those kind of good, big results, in the early going, because you're probably not eating so dang good, and just starting to eat healthy, and at a reasonable caloric intake rate, and get any amount of physical activity, at the beginning the pounds will come off quickly, but I do expect that things will sort of taper off, and I'll get into that range where, again, dietitians and doctors will tell you to sort of get, healthily lose 1.5 to 2 pounds a week or so, and I think that what I'm doing will sort of get me into that groove here shortly. But so, all right, so there you go, May the 7th, 2021, week 2 for the videos here, and we were at 252.3. So I will check in again next week, next Friday. It will be, I guess, we're the 7th today. It'll be the 14th for my next video, and between now and then, you have a great week.